Good morning, students. Next topic in dynamics of fluid flow, we are considering orifices. Orifice. So, last class we consider applications of Bernoulli's equation. In that, we consider the venturimeter, orifice meter, pitot tube, that are the flow measuring devices. And next, uh, are used for the flow measurement are orifice and notch. So first we see the orifice. So orifice is a simply small opening. We can consider orifice is a small opening of any cross section on the side of a tank or maybe bottom of the tank through which fluid is flowing. So this opening is provided in the side of a tank through that liquid is flowing. So this cross section of this opening may be the circular one, rectangular or triangular cross section. So small hole or opening is provided in the side of the tank through which this liquid is flowing. So here we have seen in this is a tank. In that water is, so water head is H, water head is H. So this H head of the water above the center above the center of this orifice is H. Here cross section is here taken as C2. So as the water is flowing through the small opening, so H represent there is a some pressure head is available. Pressure head is P by rho G. So as the flow is taking place through a small opening, means area goes on decreasing. So as the fluid is flowing through this small hole, area goes on decreasing in this hole. So that means some pressure energy available due to the head, pressure energy available due to the head will converts into the velocity. So we can measure the differential head or the velocity through this orifice. So orifices are simply used for the measuring the flow rate in the tanks, that a small opening is provided in the side of the tank or bottom of the tank. So we consider now different types of orifices, so that depending on the size, they are depending on the head available, orifices are classified as small and large orifice. So depend on the head available. So here we consider this is the head available H. Now if this H is more than the 5 times depth of the orifice, then it is called small orifice. If the head of the liquid from the center of orifice is 5 times more than depth of orifice, then it is called as a small orifice. So in this diagram you can show, see the depth H is more as compared to this depth. So 5 times if it is more than depth of the orifice, then it is called as a small orifice. And if the depth is more than, if the depth or whatever, if the head available H, this H head available is less than the 5 times depth of the orifice, then it is called as a large rectangular orifice. This is a large rectangular orifice because here head is smaller, head available in the tank is smaller as compared to the depth of this orifice. So according to this depth available, there are two classifications, small orifice and large orifice. Here 5 times depth of orifice is there. According to cross section, they are classified as a circular orifice, triangular and rectangular. Again, classification according to what is the outlet. Outlet of the orifice is in the open atmosphere, or the outlet of the orifice in the another tank. They are classified as a free discharging or submerged orifice. So we can see in the diagram first that we have seen this, the discharge outlet side of the orifice is open to the atmosphere. So it is a freely discharging orifice, freely discharging orifice. but in this case the outlet side of this orifice, that is opening in the tank, is into the another tank, and outlet side is under the liquid. So under this liquid the outlet side of the orifice is there. So whatever the this orifice is totally submerged in the liquid, so that is called as a fully submerged orifice. And first we have seen the freely, in this diagram, freely discharging orifice. So freely discharging means it is discharges to the open atmosphere. Now free, fully submerged orifice again having the, or submerged orifice having the two types, as a fully submerged and second we consider partially submerged orifice. So as name indicate, partially means outlet side is partially inside of the liquid. So we can consider this is orifice, so half part or bottom part of the orifice is submerged into the liquid and upper part is open to the atmosphere. So this type of orifice is called partially submerged orifice. So these are the classifications of orifice: fully submerged or partially submerged orifice. Next, we are obtain the expression for flow through the orifice. So here we consider again same example, circular orifice. This is the diagram. In this case, available head is H, available head of the water above the center of orifice is H, and vena contracta means we have considered in last class. Vena contracta means area through the orifice goes on decreasing. So at a particular location, this is the diameter of the orifice at this, and the area goes on decreasing up to a point. That minimum area in the flow is called vena contracta. So minimum area is there and maximum velocity will be at vena contracta. So first section for determining the pressure head, we are taking point 1 at the center of the orifice having the H head, and second point we are taking at a vena contracta. So we can see in the expression again this orifice work on the principle of Bernoulli's equation. So applying the Bernoulli's equation, P by rho g V2 square by 2g plus Z1 is equal to P2 by rho g V2 square by 2g Z2. But the as the at this orifice we are consider both the sections or both the points at a same elevation. So Z1 is equal to Z2. So this will be cancelled out. So remaining is this term. Now we know P1 by rho g is the static head. This is the head available, and P2 by rho g is 0 because the air discharge into the atmosphere. So here whatever the pressure is equivalent to the atmosphere. So this pressure gauge is measured above the atmosphere. So here at the outlet there is a head available is atmosphere. So we have taken this atmospheric pressure. We are measuring the gauge pressure here. So P by rho g will be the having the head H, and discharge if it is in atmosphere, then gauge pressure is 0. So this P2 by rho g is 0. Now the velocity at 1 is very small because the flow is taking place because of the pressure difference at head difference. At this head is more, and here head difference the flow is taking place. So area is very large. So here velocity is very smaller in this section. Area of the tank is more, but the outlet of the orifice area is smaller. So A1 is greater than A2. So velocity at point 2 is very high. Outlet of the orifice is very high as compared to velocity 1. So neglecting the velocity at 1, we get putting here P1 by rho g h plus 0 is equal to P2 by rho g is 0 V2 square by 2g. So we get velocity at the outlet of orifice under root of 2gh. So same formula again, velocity is square root of 2gh. Higher is the velocity when head is higher, and accordingly the discharge is more, because discharge is area into velocity. So as the velocity will be more, discharge will be more. That is the formula to determine the velocity. Now this is again velocity is called theoretical velocity, because we are neglect the friction of the fluid, as the we are assuming the ideal fluid or viscosity is neglected, but actually there is exist friction between the two fluid particles. So actual velocity will be less than the theoretical velocity. So there are three coefficients are used. So first one, three hydraulic coefficients are used. So first one is the coefficient of velocity. It is simply actual velocity of a jet at vena contracta upon theoretical velocity. So if you take actual velocity v and theoretical velocity, we have derived under root of 2gh. So Cv value is from 0.95 to 0.99. So Cv is the coefficient of velocity. There are three coefficient: coefficient of velocity, coefficient of discharge, and coefficient of contraction. So second one is coefficient of contraction. So already we use in the orifice meter. Coefficient of contraction is area of a jet at the vena contracta. Means where the minimum area is there, that area of the jet at vena contracta upon area of the orifice. So we can take AC upon A. So coefficient of contraction means simply we can consider this is the orifice diameter through that flow, and here this is the orifice diameter, and this is the vena contracta diameter. So accordingly the coefficient of contraction is AC by A. Next we consider the coefficient of discharge, that is the actual flow rate upon theoretical flow rate. So actual velocity, we can consider actual flow rate is actual velocity into actual area, and q theoretical is theoretical velocity into theoretical area. So actual velocity upon theoretical velocity is the coefficient of velocity, and actual area upon theoretical area is coefficient of contraction. So CD, coefficient of discharge, we can determine again as a CV into CC. So these are values are determined by the experimentation for different sizes of the orifice. So each size of the orifice or each type of orifice having its own value of coefficient of discharge. So normally the coefficient of discharge is 0.6 to 0.65. Means actually flow rate will be less than the theoretical flow rate because of the different losses to friction or due to the pressure loss into the velocity, there are flow rate is reduced. So this is calculated by the coefficient of discharge. So three hydraulic coefficient are there: coefficient of velocity, actual velocity upon theoretical velocity. Second one, coefficient of contraction, so smaller area at a vena contracta upon area of orifice. And third one is coefficient of discharge, actual velocity, actual discharge upon theoretical discharge. Next we find, so first we find the velocity for the smaller orifice, means depth, head is more than the 5 times depth, and large orifice means this head, water head available from the center of orifice is less than the 5 times depth. H is less than the 5 times depth, then it is called as a large rectangular orifice. So here we are obtaining expression. So suppose this as a rectangular strip we have taken here, a smaller strip of dh at a h depth from the free surface of the liquid. Its width is, that is width of orifice is b, or breadth of orifice is b, and depth of orifice is d. So we have considered a small elementary strip of dH thickness at a depth h from the free surface of the liquid. B is the depth of the strip. Now h1 is the head from the upper surface or top edge of the orifice, and h2 is the head from the bottom edge of the orifice. Now we have considered as a we are integrating through for this dh. Now area, we know area is the uh, area of strip will be the b into dh for the elementary strip. So theoretical velocity already we have find out under root of 2gh. Now discharge will be the cd, actual discharge will be the cd multiplied by area into velocity. So here cd area is b into dh under root of 2gh. So dh is variable. So we can find the total discharge by integration of dq. So limit is from the h1 to the h2. So total discharge will be integration h1 to h2 cd bdh under root of 2gh. So here b is constant, width of orifice is constant, 2g is constant, cd is constant. So taking outside of the integration will be h1 by h1 to h2 under root of dh. So h raised we can write under root h as h raised to 1 by 2. Now integrating h 1 by 2 plus 1 divided by 1 by 2 plus 1 and limits h1 to h2. So putting this we get limits q is equal to, so this will be the 2 by 3 cd b under root of 2g h2 raised to 3 by 2 minus h1 raised to 3 by 2. So again we can find this discharge to the orifice is directly depends on the depth of the orifice. If h2 is more or head available is more, we get the uh, more discharge to the orifice. So q is directly depends on the head available. Now this is the formula for large orifice. Large orifice that is freely discharging. Large rectangular orifice freely discharging. Now next we have to consider fully submerged orifice. So here h1 h2 are the again heads available from the top and bottom edge, and h is the water level or liquid level difference. So here whatever the discharge from the orifice is taken into another container. So here another tank. So whatever outlet of the orifice is into the inside the liquid means it is called fully submerged orifice. So two sections are taken inside that one, at the inlet one and at the vena contracta is two. So again using the Bernoulli's equation, and already we have find the velocity is 2 under root of 2gh. So here area of this rectangular orifice is there, then area is b into d. Area is b into d. So d difference is taken as h2 minus h1. So here discharge from the fully discharged or fully submerged orifice is taken as cd, breadth of the orifice b, and difference of the depth from the free surface of the liquid. So H2 at the depth from the bottom edge to the free surface of liquid, and H1 is the depth from the upper edge of the orifice from the free surface of the liquid. So we can find CDB H2 minus H1 under root of 2GH. Now if you consider next partially submerged orifice. So partially submerged orifice means bottom part of the orifice is submerged inside the liquid and upper part of the orifice is freely discharging. So that is partially submerged orifice. So again H1 is the depth from the free surface of the liquid and up to top edge of the orifice, and H2 from the free surface of a liquid and bottom edge, and H is the water level or liquid level difference between the two tanks. Now again here we can combine the formula of the freely discharging orifice and fully submerged orifice. So for total discharge through the partially submerged orifice will be the discharge through the free is, we have derived formula 2 by 3 CdB under root of 2g h raised to 3 by 2 minus h1 raised to 3 by 2. That is for the large orifice freely discharging. And this is formula we have taken for the fully submerged orifice. It is CdB H2 minus H1 under root of 2GH. So here again the partially submerged will be the addition of discharge. Upper part is free and bottom part is submerged. So these are the orifices that are measured, used for the measuring flow through a tanks. We can determine the flow through the tank by determining the this head of the. So we can see the formula is depend on the head available, head of the water available that we can measure. So next is the notch. So notch we can consider as an opening in the vertical side of the tank. That means tank may be the free channel or free surface of the liquid in the tank is below the edge of the opening. Now again notch are used to measure the discharge to a open channel or a tank. We can see here this diagram. So this is an open channel, through that water is flowing. So we are we require what is the flow rate of the water flowing. So at that time the V notch, this is the V notch. There are types of notch. V notch is used. So we can see the water level before this is below the top edge of the, below the top edge of the notch. So the water is discharging at the outlet through this notch. So this notch can be constructed in the open channel to measure the flow rate of the water. And second type is the weir. So weir, here the flow of the water is takes place above the surface of the above the top edge of the weir. So weir is basically the in the dams or open channel where the water is freely discharging over the weirs. That is a masonry or concrete structure over that water is flowing. And basically a notch is a measured for the small open channels or tanks, in that the depth of the water is below the top edge of the notch. And notch are made from the metallic parts, and weirs are basically these are the vertically structure having the edge, that may be the sharp edges to separate the flow from the edge of the weir may be used. So there are two types of flow measuring we can consider in the open channels or free flow of the liquid are notch and the weir. So we can see here its part. The bottom edge of the notch is called as a crest. Bottom edge of the weir or notch is called as the crest over the which liquid is flowing, and the sheet form over the crest, over that water is flowing in the, there is a formation of, this is a sheet will be formed, that is called as a nappe. So this is called as a draw down flow. Means here is head is more, so here flow will be takes place in the open side at the down, that is drawn down side. So flow over the sharp crest weir. So sharp edges are used to separate the flow. If the edges are smooth, the flow will be stick to the surface, and if you use the sharp edges, there is a separation of the fluid. So here shows the flow over sharp crest weir. So we can see here a notch and weir difference. Notch may be the opening provided in the side of the tank or vessel, that liquid surface in the tank is below the top edge. So we can see here the liquid level is below the top edge, and these are the used in the small structures. Metallic plates are used and measure the smaller flow rates in the open channel. but weirs are the large structures made up of these concrete bricks, and for the again weirs are used for the some discharge of the water or to create the water level, in the canals or dams. So where is the where over the flow takes place, over that the flow will be above the uh, where may be the any rectangular obstruction in an open stream over which flow takes place. So these are the notches, and weirs are basically measured to flow rate of the water in the open channels and dams. So there are three. Q is the discharge, H is the head, above the two free surface of the liquid and bottom edge or crest of the weir. So we can consider these are the notch and the weirs. So there are different types of notches. There are rectangular, triangular, trapezoidal, or strip. So here we are considering the formula is derived as the same orifice. So formula is Q is equal to 2/3 of coefficient of discharge, L length means this width of the orifice, under root of 2g, h raised to 3 by 2. So discharge through this orifice again depends mostly h raised to 3 by 3 means it depends on the head available above the crest. Higher is the head available, higher will be the flow rate. Sometimes triangular notches, they are simple, having the angle theta between the two edges. So this Q will be the 8 by 15 CD 2G tan theta by 2 H raised to 5 by 2 are the triangular notches used. Trapezoidal notches is a combination of these two rectangular and two half triangles. So combining these two formula we can get formula of trapezoidal. And again step notch can be formed using these formulas. So here we can consider the notch is used to measure the flow rate. That notches are formed between the channels in the open channels, or weirs is used in the dams to measure the flow rate. So these we have covered different types of orifice and notches that used for the measurement of the flow of the liquids. Thank you.